You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way up to, did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard. B-A-T-A-R-D. That's shopify.com/Batard. B-A-T-A-R-D. Now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Batard. Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Becle, SAB the CV. Copyright 2024. Proximo. Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
I'm not feeling physically great. I'm not feeling emotionally great. But the OG crew is here on a difficult Monday after a, turbulent couple of weekends in politics. And I want to pace ourselves because we got 4 months of this shit coming up. And I don't want to blow a gasket every Monday because something else has changed. And Roy, I need your help here. We cannot go through this and football season. And General Where's Stugotz, the General Where's Stugotz of today, where we can't trust him at all to just show up. We got 5 months of crazy ahead. And I don't know whether to start the show with Biden talk? Biden talk?
I don't know, man. Like, I'm too tight. I'm used to Stugotz not being here. Yeah. We can throw it out to the side, but after the Stanley Cup final, now this, I'm exhausted, man. Exhausted.
We haven't even started. We haven't even started the actual cycle.
Oh, God, no.
We haven't started. Billy, what are you making faces
by Roy.
about?
Great acting there, Roy. Good job.
We haven't even gotten to the DNC yet. That's going to be interesting.
Let's just appreciate our moment in history, shall we? History is literally happening every day, and I know that's the deal with history. But this time in particular, there's going to be plenty of stuff written about in history textbooks. We get to see an open convention. It's the first time in my lifetime I get to say I saw that. A president that had the most popular votes ever, that was a pretty successful president when it came to midterm elections, has just decided at his age and his health and his current polling to step away from seeking re-election and endorse his vice president. This is a moment in time.
A heroically unselfish act.
Yeah, and it's the first time in my lifetime that, I know this has been aggregated a bunch, that a Bush, a Clinton, or a Biden won't be involved in an election. So that's fresh. That's new.
I know, but every day is.
Of course, the guy running on the other side of the ticket was a president the previous time. But, baby steps to a total reset.
Chris Cody, why are you smiling?
Because I'm with my friends. I made it. I woke up another day, Dano.
Ever the optimist over here.
I stay out of that stuff. You guys can worry about that stuff. I'm good.
I am. Very worried.
Chris is bowling on Wednesdays. What are we going to do?
What do you mean you stay out of that stuff?
I mean, I'll vote.
He'll get there when it's time.
I'm on your guys' team, but I'm just not going to get all worked up. All right? You guys got that.
He does seem a lot happier than you guys, to be honest.
I'm going to watch funny YouTube videos.
He's figured it out.
Yeah, good for you.
My presidential coverage is watching Kill Tony. And seeing
Okay,
Biden and
yeah, you know what?
Trump
you
over
say
there.
that. Yeah, look, here, this is what's funny about you, though. This is what's funny about you. Yes, I get it.
I'm tired, man.
Yeah, no, you're part of the great divide in this country of people who just want to go laugh and be left alone somewhere and
The
go watch.
internet.
Yes, go watch.
I'm going to vote. Hey, out there, everyone, vote.
But hold on a minute. All right?
Wait 1 second.
I mean, in fairness, his vote counts the same as yours. So if you could do it stressed out, you could do it calmly.
Yes,
I mean,
but-
it's probably better the way Chris is doing it.
Yes, but the problem with what Chris is doing is Chris couldn't wait to start texting people that Biden was out of the race.
Oh, it was the best. I love when you have a news story. It's like, who can I share this with? Hey, Dad, Biden pulled out. Mom, did you see? He picked Kamala.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
My father is Biden's age. I can't get him to give up the diet orange soda. I can't get him to give up the car keys. My father is Biden's age, a grumpy, stubborn old man who doesn't want to change at all. An act of heroism. An unselfish act of heroism by an old man to say, I'm too old for this. You know what? I agree with you. I'm going to be accountable. I'm bad for all this. Polling's bad. I got to get out of the way. It makes me sad, scared. It's kind of amazing and funny that age knocks him out, but the other guy's a criminal. And he's still in
and
the game.
old, by the way, and old.
Well, now, and going to look all the older because he's fallen asleep at White Trash Convention with Hulk Hogan. But I don't want to start there.
Give Chris's technique just a week and see how your life feels. Like, just try it for a week,
Objection
man. I'm
leading
telling
the
you.
jury was coded language.
I have to pace
in that
myself.
you said it overtly.
I have to pace myself over these next 4 months because everything's getting increasingly crazy when the last 8-day cycle gives us an assassination attempt. And now, hey, it's not deposed. It's not dethroned, but Biden being out because everybody in the party sort of turned on him in a way that created the self-awareness of this can't win. The public's not going to go with he's aging too quickly.
The documentary on this is going to be great 20 years from now because after then we can actually come to grips with where we are right now. I think my main takeaway outside of just the horrific events from 2 Saturdays ago was I was so stunned at how the world just kept moving. Baseball games that were supposed to go on went on. We didn't miss a beat. He's speaking at the convention, and we're just chugging along. And it's kind of like how we now know that there's UFOs around, but we don't know how to talk about it, and we can't. The human mind can't even comprehend the scope of it. So we just keep moving on with our day and watching Kill Tony.
Well, could it be that we kept chugging along because Trump kept chugging along? Because
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's acting like it was like the most normal thing. So it's just, I don't really know how to reconcile with the times because they won't slow down.
Okay, so we've got 4 to 5 months of this, and also this is a good time for Thom Brennaman to get back in the game. Like Thom Brennaman
What a news dump he took advantage of.
Time has sped up over the last 4 years. I think we'd all agree. I think everyone would agree with wherever it is our divisions are over the last 4 years. Time has sort of been warped on things, and so I have a mark in sports, a line and it wasn't Rudy Gobert, where it's sort of like here comes the pandemic sadness of a career is going to get lopped off. One of the first things that's going to happen during weird pandemic times is Thom Brennaman's going to have an off-air moment that has a gay slur in it, and it was on a live mic. And then Thom Brennaman is giving the apology during what is now, over the last 4 years, Castellanos is only associated with this. You don't associate him with championship games or Phillies, or you just associate him with, as a Red, hitting a home run during the most awkward Simpsons-type satire apology you've ever heard in sports.
Castellanos to lead things off. Jim Day's going to be taking us the rest of the way through this game as Holland takes over on the mound. I made a comment earlier tonight that I guess went out over the air that I am deeply ashamed of. If I have hurt anyone out there, I can't tell you how much I say from the bottom of my heart. I'm so very, very sorry. I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run. And so that'll make it a 4-0 ball game. I don't know if I'm going to be putting on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Reds. I don't know if it's going to be for my bosses at Fox. I'm going to apologize for the people who signed my paycheck, for the Reds, for Fox Sports Ohio, for the people I work with, for anybody that I've offended here tonight. I can't begin to tell you how deeply sorry I am. That is not who I am, and never has been. And I'd like to think maybe I could have some people that could back that up. I am very, very sorry, and I beg for your forgiveness. Jim Day will take you the rest of the way home.
And that ended in his career in a way that's like, I don't even mean to laugh. It's just so perfectly awful. And
it'd be such a perfect apology, too, that really considers, like, man, I don't know if I'm ever going to put on these headsets. It really takes into account the gravity of the situation. It's a man reckoning with the end of his career, but Castellanos couldn't lay out.
It was wonderful that he had to respect at the very end in an empty ballpark, totally quiet. He created for me a moment that I would put in my personal sports hall of fame for, I remember how it felt during the pandemic to not feel sick because sports made me laugh again. Because sports could give me a joy in an empty ballpark with no sound where you get that apology. But now Brennaman's back in the game. You get an assassination attempt over here. President drops out. Boom, boom, boom. Good in the news cycle. 4 years long enough. Get back in the game. The CW needs you. We got sports all over. And someone's going to broadcast that out-of-conference Wake Forest football game.
And I'm going to be betting on it to the soundtrack of Thom Brennaman. And I've got a really hot take when it comes to Thom Brennaman. That's fine. He can go back now. Feel like he served his time. I know he said a lot of people can back that up, that's not who he is. I don't recall like a huge line, but you know, you are not your worst moments. And I feel like 4 years and the penance of having to call ACC football on the CW, I feel like that's good. We did that one right.
Jeremy's wincing, though.
A lot of young, hungry broadcasters who you could have hired instead of a guy who used the F slur toward gay people on a hot mic. When, you know, his job is to speak. When your job's to speak and you speak a slur into a microphone, maybe you don't hire that person to speak again. There's plenty of other people who you could hire to do that job.
I hear where you're coming from. I'm pretty sure that guy's never going to make that mistake again.
Yeah, that's not the point.
Okay. Well, it's just like I know I'm not going to play gatekeeper on broadcasters. I know there's plenty of young broadcasters, and there's plenty of crap football games for them to call. Like shutting out Thom Brennaman because we don't feel like he's sorry enough.
He just got to have a long enough career. No, I don't know.
I'm not going to die on that hill. If Thom Brennaman wants to get back, he gets to prove for a year that he's not going to say a gay slur into a microphone during ACC football games on the CW.
That
is not who I am.
This is what I would love to do here for the rest of time as a sports show. I would love to govern just you two yelling at each other over what should be the penalty between 4 years and a lifetime ban, and just and make up the rules as we go along, because we don't know, because Jeremy's right that a young broadcaster could be given a chance with that game.
So could a grizzled old vet.
That is not who I am.
A bad moment.
And never has been.
But it was that one time at that microphone.
Oh, it was a bad one.
Yeah, but
I got to say, one of the worst.
But when he says it's not who I am and who I've been, I mean, you just were on a live mic. That's why you're apologizing.
It's who he was 10 minutes ago.
We just made the president of the United States stop running for president because of bad moments on the microphone.
Well, he stopped for 4 years. I don't know. It's just like if he's sorry, CW does its vetting process. They feel like they can hire him and give him a second chance. I'm not anti-second chance. I don't think he's still hateful. He's been laying low. I'm good with him trying to claw back into it, see if he can have a career again.
He's been laying low because no one gave him a shot.
That's right.
Like he was in I think he was in the Caribbean baseball
Yeah,
leagues.
but he didn't do the thing. He's not holding up a poster board like David Pollock, guys. He's been laying low. He hasn't made himself this huge victim. He's acknowledged that he slipped up. He hasn't been blaming anybody else. How often have we seen that grift? How often have we seen someone, my character has been assassinated, I'm a victim here of cancel culture. He's been laying low.
Look, I don't know. Slipped up, laying low 4 years. I don't know what the rules should be. I'm not sitting here telling you.
6 years.
What, like you want him to do Maction? Minor League Baseball?
Look, this is the thing that I hate about what's happening to me.
Saudi League?
As my sensibilities tend to age.
Florida Everblades?
7.5 years.
I've never been the guy who wants anybody lifetime gone for anything because we define anybody by their worst acts.
Well, then welcome Thom Brennaman to the CW. Thank you.
After 4 years of penalty, but I do like arguing about whether it should be 4.5 or 5 or 5.5 because I'm watching the Louis C.K. documentary and I'm like, okay, he's back in the game. And that was the penalty.
I don't think he ever really left the game.
No, but
it's less for comedians. Comedians get 2.5 years.
Yes.
Or one special.
But if we're going to make all the rules as we go along, it's like moral arbiters. We're going to all do this together, unified as one, on the one thing of what's the appropriate outrage for this sports broadcaster using a slur. What is the right amount? Brennaman's back in the game now. 4 years, we'll forget. One news cycle, we'll forget.
Let's call him Louis C.W. It's a good joke for Louis C.W.
It is a good joke. I can't hit the button for you, though. You're going to have to do that for you.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way up to, did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Batard. B-A-T-A-R-D. That's shopify.com/Batard. B-A-T-A-R-D. Now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Batard.
Don Le Batard.
This is largely performative, but we need to establish at least some reasonable doubt. Yes, exactly. I'm so done. Pulled over.
Stugotz at the top, everyone, with a police story where he pays more than you do.
Stugotz.
I always like leaving Dan on time. Because he's so vulnerable, I just unfairly fade down the chickens to just leave him by himself.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Speaking of hitting the button, okay, I didn't get to properly remember a Hall of Fame sound from around here on Friday. We lost a conservative icon. I am on a text string with some of my friends that just keep scrolling new death news to me about just the latest person from my childhood who is dying. Lou Dobbs, conservative icon, 78 years old, has only one sound in the history of this show that is a Hall of Fame sound, and it's him trying to say, I don't even remember what country in
Guadalajara.
Mexico. No, it wasn't Guadalajara.
No, it wasn't?
No, it wasn't. We always thought, that's one of the things that's funny about it. It was
myth busted?
Yes, it was not. That's what I wish it had been, but when it wasn't, it made it all the funnier.
The caravan of mostly Central American immigrants is now in the Mexican city of Guadalajara.
Man, you sure it's not Guadalajara?
I'm positive.
What could it be?
We've done this before, and somebody's done the research on it, and it's been disproven. It was not Guadalajara.
Mexican city of Guadalajara.
It's got to have an X in it.
It does.
It's got to have an X in it, right?
Please take a second and look it up. I'm ashamed that I don't know this because I should know this. Roy, I'm surprised you don't know it because as our resident historian on these things, you usually are up to matters, especially when it comes to the death of cultural conservative icon Lou Dobbs.
Yeah, I thought it was Guadalajara or Guadalajara. Right?
Wow,
Yeah,
Taylor just texted me from another room a great little tidbit. The quarterback for Boston College is Thomas Castellanos.
That's correct.
We've got an opportunity here for the funniest thing ever to happen. All we need is for Thom Brennaman to slip up one more time and for Castellanos to do something on the field immediately after.
You knew the Boston College quarterback's name was Castellanos off the top of your head.
I just read about it this weekend because a lot of people had pointed out on this story of Brennaman that he was going to be. It's very rare these days, Billy, on the internet that you're allowed to get to any of the jokes first. People are already making them as soon as any kind of news breaks.
Apparently, the name of the city is spelled Huixtla.
Can we use it in a sentence?
I can't.
Spell it again, Roy.
Huixtla.
If Nick Castellanos didn't hit so many home runs at bad moments, do you think Thom Brennaman would have been back sooner?
I think the opposite. I think the only reason he gets to come back is because we've turned it into a meme.
Wow. I think that had he not done it so many times, people would have forgotten why Thom Brennaman was fired to begin with. Because every time it happens, then you go and you see the apology and you're like, what did he do again? You're like, oh yeah, that's no.
You know, like when they say let the apology be as loud as the criticism? That time the apology was louder than the initial incident. Like, it's become so memeable that you have to kind of look back and say, what is he apologizing for?
I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
It's so good. I mean, if a script writer wrote it, like if that is the shame you take to your grave as a broadcaster who took himself seriously and who got broadcasting descended to him from his father, someone who cherishes broadcasting, if the satire and humor of that is how your career ends and the universe just laughs at you with 1,000 clowns in the sky, it should be the final disgrace that echoes for you in a way that if you're not self-serious, you could be like, man, that was perfect. I got the perfect ending. A Brockmire type of casual slur that was grandfathered in from 3 decades ago in baseball off air, and now I've got to apologize for it, and it's going to be my eternal shame. Like I'm not kidding you when I tell you there's a special kind of curse in that purgatory that Brennaman has to take broadcasting that seriously, and that he would disgrace it at the end while still trying to respect the broadcast of it by describing a meaningless home run during the pandemic.
Can you do a South Beach Sessions with him? That'd be no, not Castellanos. Well, yeah, do Castellanos too. But Brennaman ran into something that we later discovered was a thing entering that moment for Castellanos, because when this became viral, everyone's like, guys, this is not even the first time Castellanos has done this. There was an awkward apology on the air from his earlier days in Major League Baseball, and he's only leaned into it since. Like always, anytime now something is in the news, the first thing people do that like to gamble is they go to the home run props and pick Nick Castellanos to go deep.
It started with the beginning of his career. His first home run was May 1st, 2011. The next day, Osama bin Laden was killed. Now he homered on the day of the Trump assassination attempt. He homered on the day that Joe Biden decided he would no longer run for president. He homered when the Phillies were on their broadcast giving an update on Charlie Manuel's stroke. He homered during, I believe, a rehab game at a minor league park when someone was talking about his then recently passed away Uncle Charlie. There are so many examples of Nick Castellanos homering in the middle of tragic news.
I need to get that sound. We need to get that minor league sound, because it feels like a cosmic joke in that we are living right now the Castellanos era of pandemic baseball and comedy. But I want to again go back to the spelling. How would you pronounce HV? Spell this for me again. HVIXTLA.
The V is a U. So HUIXTLA.
Yeah, HUIXTLA.
Okay. Okay. Quixla?
Honestly, think he did a good job after seeing how it's spelled.
No, Billy. No, what are you talking? No.
It's a hard word.
It is a hard word, but I'm asking all of you to go around the room and try to pronounce that word if he thought the second letter was a V and not a U. Because That would be tough for Lou Dobbs. That's some gymnastics. Asking Lou Dobbs to get used to brown spellings, accents, and flavors. No, he doesn't want that in his America, so he'll die before he lives it.
I'll take a crack. Ooh, ixla.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it.
Roy, you can't be trusted.
No, I can't.
You can't. Like,
ixla.
No, the H is silent, so it's already off to a bad start.
Roy, your pronunciation of Guadalajara.
Hey, listen.
Was so bad. No, what do you mean? Hey, listen, what?
I can't speak Spanish. I'm sorry.
But then I've been making fun of Lou Dobbs. We're literally burying this old man. For how many years for trying to get through that word? And you're telling me he's got no chance because
I can't get through that word.
You've lived in South Florida all your life, surrounded by Latin people.
Yeah, but in a different neighborhood, though.
I'm going to miss Lou Dobbs, ancient patron saint for a different time when conservatives could be slightly less lunatic than the ones in front of us right now.
Thank you.
I don't mean to be that guy on this hour the entire time, but that guy was pretty racist and xenophobic
over
and over and over
Sure,
again.
but it was a
quaint time.
It was a quainter dinosaur time. Yes, of course he was.
Directly led to what's happening now.
Yes, of course.
And
but
don't sell your stuff short.
But all I'm saying is he was an amateur working in the fringes around. Limbaugh was the guy doing the real damage, and Dobbs was over in the conservative corners picking up, whatever dust the professional assholes could back then. Yes, Jeremy, of course. And now it's all so much worse. I'm not exactly longing for a quainter time in racism. Just let the man be dead for 5 minutes before you disrespect his racist.
You're the one that called for the sound.
His racist, xenophobic ass.
No.
I mean, what are we doing? I do think, I don't know, because I'm really confused about how to do some of this in the next 4 months, because I sort of want to play around in the playpen of doing all the nonsense. And I also want to wonder about whether the last 8 days are going to be now the new normal for the next 8 days, because, of course, all of this stuff is going to escalate. It's been gurgling since January 6th, right, where we're going to look at the same thing happening, same horrifying thing at the beginning of Castellanos, and we're all going to be like, okay, we're going to look at this one differently. This is either, a harmless bunch of Sherpas walking in, they're not attacking democracy, or it's an insurrection. And now we're going to fight about words and semantics, and you're going to see the country divided everywhere, all over the place, until the gun violence is so bad all around that an assassination attempt occurs, and that one's not. That seems to be a job about mental illness. That doesn't. What is we don't even understand what the politics of that are. And so we come into this time now, and the Democrats just ran an old man out of office, and that makes me feel bad because he tried to do the right things at every turn, and at the end of it all, he has to fall on the crucifix. As the other party is the one about religion. The other party is the one where Trump can't even hold up a Bible correctly because of how much they hide in the religion of hatred. So now we head into the next 4 months. And you've never heard me around here be radically pro-Biden. All I am is radically anti all of that over there. Like, just give me something less criminal, less sexist, less racist, less homophobic, just less. Yeah, all the sides are evil. Everyone's bad. Everyone's bought. Everyone's corrupt. Just give me slightly less evil than that. That's what I'm voting for. And so now they just throw all the popcorn up in the tin, and who knows what's going to happen. Like, I don't trust polls. I don't trust information. I don't trust experts. So who knows what happens over the next 4 months? My news shows that I'm trusting can't even keep up with the politics of the moment, because between Bill Maher and John Oliver, they're too much happens in a week for either one of them to be able to produce something that I can consume, so I can hear somebody try to be reasonable during something that's obviously not reasonable. We just ran an old man who tried to be graceful to the very end of his life. Ran him right out because he's old, and I get it.
Career. But I guess on a long enough timeline, yeah, I guess he's closer to the end than the middle.
I'm just saying that we can't do better than this. Is like I believe all of us are mortified.
We can and we are. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, isn't this the Democratic Party acknowledging that they have to?
Yes, because they were going to lose.
Right.
Because that thing we've been talking about, the need to declare something over. When the bullet missed, all I heard was people declaring the election over immediately after an assassination attempt. And now the new normal is the way that you counter that winning photograph is you overthrow your own president because he's old.
If the assassination attempt had happened in a Kamala versus Donald Trump campaign, we may not be responding the same way, because it may have already been so decisive that the convicted felon wasn't going to be the president. But in this case, we were coming off of a couple of weeks of the media, not just the Democratic Party, but basically the media coalescing and saying Biden is too old. He's also not entertaining, which is not great for us as a corporate media entity. And in turn, he's now gone, and the Democrats are doing what they can to put the best possible candidate to represent what that administration has done the last several years in charge.
The whole thing leaves me a bit heartbroken, like sad, and not hopeful, but moderately less hopeless. Not optimistic,
Well,
but
that's
moderately less pessimistic. It's
That's
not
good.
It's not vibrant alive, but it's better. It's something. It's
Bringing the
something.
Monday vibes.
Mean
Yeah.
Coach is gonna win it. Try bowling on Wednesdays. I'm telling you. Look at Chris.
Good midweek pick
Not
me
a
up.
care in the world.
Look at this face.
Don Le Batard.
I actually thought you looked kind of good.
Stugotz.
Thank you. The beard's grown out a little bit. I got a little life in my face, I feel like. Little tan, Colorado, San Francisco. I had a great time, man.
You got life on your face.
You've got death on your face.
I think you got 40 to life on your face.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
It is very difficult the way that this man makes a living. I really love and respect his grind, that he would be ready during a pandemic, after a pandemic, to tour the country the way that he's touring the country when people need to be hearing his voice at these times, because he's seen a bunch of stuff, and he has a really unique way of looking at them. Roy, thank you for being on with us. Again, I'm always happy to talk to you. I've got The Road to Rickwood to promote for him. It's a new podcast on civil rights and baseball. He does it with NPR. It's meaningful, and he's got shows coming up this summer: Denver, New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio. He's got his new special coming for Hulu. So thank you, Roy, for making the time.
Let's get to it, Dan. Does Meadowlark Media support the vice president? Do you nominate her or not? Pledge your allegiance right now. You have until sundown.
Yeah, you sounded a little Cosby there. There was a little threatening Cosby there in there, I heard.
It's like, I understand the craziness of politics today, but there's like people who aren't even involved in the democratic process who are like, we too nominate. Like, hey, settle down. You're a juice drink company. Just sell me juice drinks today.
What is this though, Roy? These are unprecedented public times, or am I overstating it?
I don't understand what the thing is about what's happening with Kamala in this moment. She's the vice president. She should be the nominee. Listen, remember when you worked at McDonald's and your manager got drunk and didn't come in that day? The assistant manager became the manager. That is the way the hierarchy works. So if Joe Biden goes, hey, y'all, I'm finna go home, then Kamala, you get to wear the manager hat, and then you go get Gavin Newsom off drive-thru, and you say you're the assistant manager now, or Gretchen Whitmer, whoever you prefer. But my point is, there's ranks in politics already set up in place. So the idea that there needs to be a process to play out before we decide, whatever, man. I'm so confused about politics.
The analogy does make sense in that the inner workings of a McDonald's is kind of like, the world and how important everything is. I don't know, like people don't vote on who runs the McDonald's. I guess that's what the delay is.
Listen, 3 months ago, the Supreme Court mattered. We don't know what's going on in the world right now anymore, okay? It's crazy times. I'm happy that we're at least having a conversation about whether or not a black woman's qualified to have the job. At least it's happening in public now and not behind closed doors. So I guess, yay, progress to that.
That's a good platform with a question mark. Yay, progress with a question mark.
Yeah. But no, I'm good, man. Good to be back on the show. Happy to see you. I got to give a real quick shout out to the Mario Lemieux Foundation. Had a great time in Pittsburgh over the weekend raising money. Was able to make it in spite of the travel craziness. 9-hour Amtrak from Milwaukee, leaving the RNC to get to Pittsburgh, and it was a good time.
Help me not make normal what are abnormal times, okay, Roy? In the last 52 days, we have witnessed May 30th, Trump's conviction, June 27th, Biden's debate, July 1st, the Supreme Court grants Trump immunity, July 13th, would-be assassin shoots at the Trump rally, July 15th, the judge down here in Florida dismisses the classified documents case, July 15th, Trump picks JD Vance. July 21st, Biden drops out. That's the time I was kind of on vacation. So, like, have you had a last couple of weeks like those couple of weeks?
No, I don't think I've ever had a run like that. I will say in the midst of all of this, I think one of the more braver politicians right now is JD Vance, because you have to stand next to a dude on stage in public places, and they've been actively trying to kill him. So I don't think there's anybody more courageous, because I can tell you right now, Dan Le Batard, if you just got shot at 2 days ago and you asked me to come do something with you in a public place, I'm going to be like,
yeah,
you're my boy, but I'll be over there. You stand over there.
No.
You go on the stage, Dan. You go talk to the people. I'm going to be over here.
All right, well, I will not lessen our friendship. How many people are you saying, okay, I'll ride with you? How many are the people are you always going to take the other direction? Because the power grabs are pretty overt these days. Like, what JD Vance is doing is pretty shameless on, surrounded by rampant shamelessness.
Oh, of course. I mean, but the entire Republican convention is people who were talking trash about Trump now being nice to him to his face. It's like a reverse roast, and that you're just watching people just go, "Oh, you're so nice, you're good. Don't worry about none of that stuff I said about you 2 months ago." So I don't know, man. I think that the election cycle should only be 4 or 5 months anyway. Just as I'm a fan of, like, if we want to bring it to sports. When they told me the NFL used to have like 14 game seasons, I'm like, bring that back. I mean, it'll never happen because of money, but the idea of there just being a sprint to the finish, I don't think anybody should have a nominee until around now. What are we, 60 days out till D-Day, 100 days out, something like that? That's what it should be.
But when we talked on South Beach Sessions, like, you've seen from the insides of speaking to these people, like, this is a cocktail party grift, that all of these people are bought, and so many of them are, like, it feels to you like paid actors. Like, you've seen the deep insides of this machine.
I was at the CNN grill last week at the RNC, and if I told you some of the names that was up in there drinking CNN's free liquor, after all they do is talk trash about CNN, bro, it's a game. I really do think, though, that for the most part, all these elections just come down to like 2-3 million people. Like, their guy is their guy. And the same thing goes with the Democrats, the people who are going to be behind Kamala. You're not going to win those people. It's the people in the middle who really aren't sure, who really honestly don't pay attention to politics, and they're somewhere watching Love Island, and they're just now checking in. Because we forget, there's people who check into politics the way we do sports, where you don't check in. I'll be honest. I watch college basketball a little, but I don't check in till conference tournaments in February and top of March. That's when I watch college basketball. I couldn't name you 2 players on any team in the last decade. But come March, I'm like, well, Gonzaga's always tough. So those are the people that we're looking for. It's like all of those people who only watch the tournament. And I think that's who, Kamala has a chance to pick off some of those kind of undecided people.
What happened to you, Dan? Like, there was a time that you'd have guests come on here and you wouldn't let them just spew propaganda unchecked. And you're letting Roy get away with saying there should be less football in this country? He wants a 14-game season?
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah. He said it as if he'd had this groundswell of support.
No one
18
wants
games,
that. 20 games.
What's the difference in a 14-game season and a 12-team playoff? It's the same thing. You're just shortening the play.
No, because you can have 4 more games and then
the 12 team.
Exactly. What are you not getting? How about just 14 weeks of no football?
Exactly. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Damn sacrilege. I can't believe this. Y'all want more football than we have.
Yeah. You're calling us sacrilegious. I mean, if this were election, I know who's winning. Yes, 2 bye weeks. Is that what you want? Well, now we're working towards a solution, Roy. I like where your head's at. Thank you.
And then the football season will be just as long as election season, a year and a half.
I hope it's longer than election season. I hope football seasons last 3 seasons long, each season.
What is it, MLS and NASCAR that go like February to damn near Hanukkah?
Those
It's
aren't
too
risks.
long.
What?
Roy, walk
It's
it
too-
back.
okay.
Roy, I don't think you
We
know
gotta do
where
the picks.
I don't think you know where the line is anymore. I think you're out of control.
You've lost touch.
You've lost touch as a comedian. You need to walk it back now.
I'm sorry for talking about serious issues on this show. Let's get back to the presidential election.
Just being
Now,
anti-football.
let me get to the picks because I want to have enough time for these picks. We didn't do the picks last time.
What,
because
your
I can't remember what
semi-sure
we're talking
bet
about.
of the week? Is that what you're
It
talking
hasn't
about?
been semi-sure. I think the last one that hit, I said a
No.
team with an A
Okay.
would win the NBA Finals, and I was wrong about that unless you spell Boston like that. But I got one for you this week, bro.
Well, but I
This
wanted
is a for sure.
I hope it's
go
Justin
ahead.
Steele.
But I wanted to do Hulk Hogan. I wanted to ask you about Hulk Hogan and the RNC. You want to go right to the picks?
What is there to say about Hogan now? That's a grift. That's a grift. This man's been ripping his shirt off for 40 years. What's a new one? I long for the days of a normal Republican convention when it was just Jeff Sessions and Herschel Walker trying to read a teleprompter. Bring back the good old days.
It's crazy. That's the good old days.
You need to. I think he needs to walk back. Like, you can't come after Hulk Hogan. He's an American icon. Like, how can you come after? How can you come
look
after
at
Most
him.
people.
Look at this clown. It's the young brother. I know you guys, brother. And then Trump blows him a kiss. Look, I think that we're at a point in politics where if you're a political party, you just find people that are passionate and that connect with your base. And it doesn't have to be eloquent anymore. I think we're going to see something similar from the Democrats as well. I guarantee you it'll be Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart at the DNC saying some shizzle dizzle. Matter of fact, put that down too. Put me down for that guarantee. Put for DNC speakers on your parlay. Give me Snoop Dogg, Martha Stewart, and I don't know.
Shizzle dizzle.
Shizzle.
Madonna. Yeah, over under on shizzle dizzles at the DNC. I think Hogan speaking, I think Amber Rose speaking, I think all of it, it oddly makes sense. We talk about people needing to understand politics. We say politics is boring. Well, then put the wrestler dude up there. Put the woman with the tattoo on the forehead up there. If that's going to get a regular undecided person to watch this nonsense, I guess it's a good thing.
Oh, another platform to run on. Just you say things with a question mark at the end. You're moving the lines of where progress should be. This is so lowest common denominator stuff that for you to be numb to it, or
Dan, I've been working this middle of the road performance for years, brother. I even do this. You can't see it off camera, but I'm doing this as I talk to you.
I understand. My bad. I'll back off. Can we get to the semi-sure bet of the week, or is it Olympics related, or did you have?
Yeah,
it's Olympic. It's
yeah. Oh yeah. Remember that the Olympics are happening. Did we not forget about that?
That's
in the
this
middle
week.
of all of this.
This week, Olympics.
Yeah,
Paris.
You got the dream team almost becoming a 30 for 30 doc the other day, winning by 1 point.
Billy's so mad at them.
You know, if South Sudan beats them, that's a 30 for 30 in a Disney movie in a heartbeat. Might still be.
I have a question for you, a pitch, really. Why is it that in some events we can have as many entrants as we want for America, but in events like basketball, we can only have one team?
What do you want, like Team A and Team B?
Yeah, why not?
You wanted a separate squad?
Look what happened in the WNBA All-Star game. You had Team USA, and they lost the WNBA All-Stars because they were playing with a chip on their shoulder because they got left off. What?
Is our country not divided enough? Do you really want Jaylen Brown and Russell Westbrook leading the way?
I like Team USA and Team USB. I like that.
I mean, what could unite this country more than winning a gold and silver medal?
What's wrong with that?
They have to wear that on their uniform.
Yes, Team USB. Yes, that's
I
right.
guarantee you.
It's like a little fake action on the side.
It's a little USB cord. It's a logo.
They could win bronze.
I'd watch that. Come on. Just the second
Terrible.
team.
You
He's
guys
right.
are terrible.
So
Opening ceremonies are, I think, Friday or Saturday for the Olympics. And guaranteed sure bet. And thank you to your staff for pulling this statistics for me, Dan. Since 2008, on the same day as the Olympic opening ceremonies, the Twins and Pirates win. It has always happened since 2008. The Twins and Pirates win since 2008. Summer Olympic ceremony, same day The Giants and Rangers lose. Every single time, every single year, the Giants and Rangers lose the same day as the Summer Olympic opening ceremonies. And I'm going to go a little deeper for you. The Twins leadoff hitter gets a hit every time. So if you're doing beat the streak, you're doing if you're doing,
Whoa,
I'm telling you.
DraftKings is what we're doing.
Never doing.
Never.
Okay, if you're doing DraftKings,
get it right.
If you're doing DraftKings, you need to bet on the Twins leadoff hitter to get a hit today. Also, same day as the Summer Olympic opening ceremonies. The Pirates number 2 hitter and the Pirates number 6 hitter always gets a hit. That's going to be Brian Reynolds and keep Brian Hayes. Put everything you own on this today.
All right, this is the Roy Wood Jr. Semi-Sure Bet of the Week, brought to you by DraftKings.
Quote, put everything you own on
everything
this,
you
right?
own.
Everything.
Don't quote that. We actually had meetings that said don't say that.
No,
Don't say that.
He is saying that it's semi-sure bet of the week because
it's not my fault if it doesn't hit, but it probably will hit. You should put everything you own on it.
there's a lot of whoa, that it's just excessive. Okay, but he's very confident. You can get tickets at roywoodjr.com. Roy, thank you. We're going to need you. Okay, we're going to need you over the next 4 months. Going to find you wherever it is wherever you're making comedy, because this can't be an acceptable level of crazy. But you're telling us we've only got attention span for the next 4 months. Everything before it, we're just hitting reset.
Yeah, but I got to go. I'm putting in my name in the hat for vice president. I got to straighten up my resume real quick.
All right. See you later.
You think they'll vote for 2 blacks?
See you later, Roy. Good seeing you again.
Not going to answer that, huh? Going to swerve that one, huh? Nice.
See you later. Good seeing you. Oh, dear God.
Hey, it's Mike Ryan, and man, it's a hot one, as Rob Thomas famously said. I know summertime means pool and backyard time. In some parts of the country, it might be too hot for that, so if you're going to be out there, be careful. Hydrate yourself, have some water, and also have a Miller Lite, because Miller Lite makes summertime Miller time. Whether you're grilling over an open flame or out there on a charcoal grill, listen, man, I don't know what the best way it is to actually grill meat. I just know that when I'm doing my grilling, it's a lot better when I have a Miller Lite, because Miller Lite keeps things simple, undebatable quality, and it tastes as great as your barbecue. The original light beer since 1975, and a perfect companion for grill masters or wannabe grill masters all across America. With a Miller Lite in your hand, grilling doesn't just taste great, it tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces.
Okay, you say, I want some breakfast. Your so-called boyfriend says, we got eggs in the fridge. Obviously, when you say breakfast, you mean McDonald's. Definitely a side-eye situation.
Bring home the bacon, steak patty, or others with a BOGO for $1 breakfast. Only in the app. Limited time only at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Must opt into rewards. Visit McD app for details.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.